What up, what up, what up? Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Hey, I just want to let you know, I know everybody can't always support and donate to the podcast, but hey, if you can do a one-time donation, I put up a Buy Me a Coffee link in this description of the podcast. So if you go to the description of the podcast, it'll be at the bottom, and you can just go to that link, and you can buy me a cup of coffee, or two if you want. And that would just help support the show, and I can wake up a little bit more and bring you more info. So thanks for listening to the podcast. If you can donate, that would be much appreciated. And let's get on to the show. What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Lockdown Universe, home of the bizarre, peculiar, and unheard of stories of UFO legend and paranormal lore. Welcome back. Happy to be back. Hopefully you guys are having an excellent holiday season and you guys are staying healthy. So, hey, what do you think about Neil deGrasse Tyson? Do you think he's a shapeshifter? Do you think he's an NASA bullshitter? And by that I mean NASA. Do you think that he is a disinformation agent? Do you think he is any of the above? Or do you think he's just a legitimate astrophysicist that has no idea what he's talking about UFOs? Now, see, what's really interesting, and the reason I say that, and I love Neil deGrasse Tyson, don't get me wrong, it's just that when you're speaking as a quote-unquote expert about something, you better be an expert. And he is not an expert in UFOs. He's an expert in astrophysics. It's the same thing as asking a marine biologist to tell us about USOs, or underwater submerged objects, right? Unidentified submerged objects. These are UFOs that go underwater. It'd be the same thing as asking a marine biologist to tell us about a UFO that goes underwater. They're great at what they do. They're great at physics. They're great at astrophysics. They're great at marine biology. But when it comes to the unknown, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. I just listened to a podcast about Neil, and Neil was talking, and he talked about his father and how his father was part of the civil rights movement, and then he became the famous astrophysicist that he is. It's interesting because the government kept tabs on all of the civil rights movement people. It would be interesting to see if they might have actually recruited Neil to become part of a disinformation campaign to continue this secret throughout the decades, a secret from society, and to continue division throughout society. But nonetheless, Neil's a great dude, but he actually won an award from NASA as one of their... He won the highest civil award that a civilian can be awarded, not unmilitary or not government. So it makes you wonder, right? Is he being a spokesperson for NASA? He won the highest achievement for a civilian. And NASA, we know, lies to us continually. Carl Wolf told us that. David Adair told us that. Jonathan Weygandt told us that, and all these people told us that they were hiding information. They were airbrushing out photos right at NASA's facility. Gary McKinnon hacked NASA and got information stating that they have in their files photos of aircraft, ships in space. So if you win an award from NASA, it's kind of like saying, congratulations, you're a great liar. Now, is Neil a liar? I don't know. I can't confirm or deny that. But what I can say is that he himself stated in this podcast that he didn't really believe in aliens. It blew my fucking mind. He stated that if there was proof of aliens, that if the government had proof of aliens, then some janitor should have been able, with today's technology, to be able to take a photo while he's cleaning up of a UFO or of an alien in Area 51 or some secret base. Well, as anyone who's gone into a secret base can tell you, Emery Smith told us about going into these secret bases. Randy Kramer told us about going into these secret bases. You can't get in there with a freaking phone. You can't get in there with an iPod. You can't get in there with any electronic equipment. They scan you for that shit. They have technology hundreds of years more advanced than we have that can see if you got anything implanted inside of you, to see if you have any electronic devices that can record shit. So no, they're not going to be able to walk in there and be like, oh, I got my phone on me. I'm going to take a picture of this awesome UFO and just walk outside with it and publish it. He said this would be the easiest way for that janitor to make $1 million and become super uber famous. And who would care if he lost his job? Fuck that. It's not about him losing his job. It's about him losing his life, dude. That dude would be dead meat. The government would never allow him to do that. And plus, they have yellow cube technology to be able to see into the future, to see who's going to put out the first piece of real evidence that's going to screw him over. So, yeah, you know, and even if this dude could do it, they would erase him from existence, just like they did with Bob Lazar. They'd erase a whole bunch of his records and his history, even though there's still some pieces out there that show that he was in like a phone book from Los Alamos. So, yeah, while I like Neil, I think that Neil may be a disinformation agent. Winning that award, going to Harvard, smart guy. He went to Columbia for his master's or his PhD. You know, he's gone to some really high profile locations, schools, and he's super famous. But you got to wonder if he's not a disinformation agent, or maybe he's a shapeshifter. Who the hell knows? Maybe he's been on the inside this entire time. Wouldn't it be interesting if his father, who was behind the scenes, he wasn't like a militant civil rights activist. He was like a Martin Luther King figure. He was planning and working with the governments and trying to work on civil rights. Wouldn't it be interesting if he got the right connections to become part of some program? And that program promised him to pay his way through school and to pay his way through, oh, you're interested in astrophysics? Cool. We're gonna pay for that too. And hey, cool, guess what? Oh, you want to be a spokesperson? Hey, guess what? We're going to put you on all kinds of different podcasts, television shows, keynote speaking obligations. And hey, we're going to award you with the highest award we can, just so you can be our vocal spokesperson to say that you've never seen any aliens at NASA, that you don't even believe they exist. And if it were true, then there would have been some janitor out there that would have had a photograph of it. And that just makes sense. And people are going to believe you because you are one of the most likable dudes out there, kind of like Bill Nye the Science Guy saying he doesn't believe in aliens or the afterlife or any of that shit. These guys are super likable guys. They use the scientific method. People believe in the scientific method. The only problem is that they're not able to prove or disprove anything. They're only able to say what they know through science and what science can tell us. The only problem with science is that science is only as good as you've understood it. We haven't understood near-death experiences. We haven't understood the afterlife. We can't understand ghosts yet. We can't understand the physics behind it. So science is only as good as the physics that you can prove and understand and measure. We can't measure a ghost other than the drop in temperature. We can't measure an alien since we don't have one, out in the public to work on. We can't measure UFOs unless we have it on recording, and people don't believe recordings anymore because there's freaking AI out there. So while I love Neil, while I like what he says, while I think he's a super likable guy, I also know that there are disinformation agents out there. One of them is on Gaia. His name's Richard Doty. Now, he used to be a disinformation agent. He retired. Now he's telling us the stories that he couldn't tell us before. So if Neil's under some contract with the government, he's getting paid off, guess what? He's not going to tell us shit. He's going to be raking in the dough and doing all these speaking engagements and making all this money. Now, he does have some interesting stories. He has a great book. But unless you can say that you believe in aliens with all this information that you have, I mean, come on, man. Who's going to believe you? Who's going to buy into it? Who's going to feel what you're selling? I'm not, and I hope nobody else is. I mean, if you want to listen to him, great. Hey, good dude. I mean, interesting to listen to, but let's face it. We are here for the truth. We are here for people who are going to tell us the truth. And if folks that work at NASA aren't going to tell us the truth, and folks that award people from NASA aren't going to tell us the truth, and people who get awards from NASA don't tell us the truth, who's going to tell us the truth? We have to find the truth for ourselves. Now, how does that happen? Well, we got to get information from the inside. The problem is there's a lot of insiders that don't want to tell us the truth. They can't, or they're scared, or they're afraid for their lives, or their families, or their loved ones. That's okay. But the ones who are brave, the ones who have nothing left to lose, maybe they don't have a family anymore, those are the ones that can tell us the truth, and hopefully we'll get some real information. Now, it's also interesting in that podcast, Neil talks about how he's giving his ideas about, predictions into the year 2050 and what society will look like. And that's really interesting, too. I mean, if you want to get into that kind of thing, by all means, go ahead and, read his books and that kind of thing. And I'm not saying, everything he says is a lie. But what I'm saying is that the people who are the figureheads of information, you have to examine them. There's a lot of people that the media brings out who are disinformation agents, who appear to be kind, appear to be nice, appear to be likable. And because they're likable, you listen to what they say. But sometimes you got to listen to the people who are saying the things that you believe in and saying the things that seem more true than not. Anybody who believes that there's, millions of stars, billions of stars, and millions of galaxies out there, and is saying that, if we had proof, we'd get it from a janitor. Sorry to say, man, if you're so deep into NASA, you probably know that NASA's got aliens there. And you probably know that there's Area 51 people out there. He probably knows Area 51 dudes that have told him, hey, yeah, there are some things here. It's just like with the presidents. The presidents, all of them are always asked on Jimmy Kimmel, on Jimmy Fallon, hey, did you get to see aliens? Did you get to, unlock the files? Bill Clinton was asked. Obama was asked. George W. Bush was asked. George Bush Sr. was asked. Even Trump was asked. Trump was the only one who really actually said something that led us to think that, there was something really there, because he actually said, I'd have to get the quote, but he said something to the effect of his son was interviewing him, and his son said, what can you tell us about aliens? He's like, well, I can't tell you everything. But it's really interesting. It's really fascinating. It's, and he let us know without explicitly telling us that they were there. So Obama, he's like, no, I can't tell you anything. Bush was like, no, I can't tell you anything. Clinton stated, he tried to open up the files, but they wouldn't let him. So he was the only one that said, hey, I tried, couldn't get it. And also Carter said that he couldn't get it. So you have all these guys, that have high positions of power. They got the information, they just can't say anything. And that may be true for Tyson as well. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to throw that out there to you. I hope you guys are having a great night. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your life. Follow through on your hobbies and your goals and your dreams. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones. And as always, continue to question the universe. Go like, follow, share, and subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one. Lockdown Universe out.